I just hope Kafka can figure this thing out. I know he will, but I want it to happen sooner rather than later so that we can really see him start to engage in his kaiju form and then master it.
One day, master's degree. One day, PhD. One day, you will write books. One day, commercials. One day, the impossible, you will laugh at the impossible. You will look at the impossible and go, what was I thinking?
Hello, my spoiler alert friends. Thank you guys for joining me. We're in the car, baby. We got another car edition. I had to come out here too late in the middle of the night. But I gotta talk about Kaiju number 8. So season 2 just started. They had almost like a recap episode, kind of like one of those filler episodes. It's like, oh, this is what they've been doing, kind of thing. And then the 2 episodes that got into the meat of the season, right? So, if you don't remember, I'm gonna give you a little refresher of what happened in Kaiju number 8, season 1. So basically, Kafka, he got, possessed by this, I don't know what they are, but it's a kaiju. It took over his body, but it's like a dormant thing. So it essentially implanted itself inside of him, and now he can turn into a kaiju. And he's been recorded as the strongest kaiju in history. He had been low-key hiding under the radar, helping people, doing things, but then it got to the point where rubber met the road and he had to reveal himself to save all of his comrades and the 3rd Division. So he did it. And then they captured him. And he went through this trial and he had to fight one of the generals, and then he was basically doing work. And they decided to keep him as a weapon, essentially. Don't kill him, keep him as a weapon. So he was in prison, and they were like, so what are we going to do with him? We have him now. What are we going to do? And then that's where we kick into season 2. And they transported him and, the blonde-haired girl, Shinomiya. They transferred him and her to the strongest kaiju division, and that's Division 1. And I gotta tell you, Shinomiya is a freaking beast. When she's got her axe out, she does work, and I love watching her fight. She just has this intensity about her when she's fighting that's really dope. And currently Kafka can't transform. I think psychologically he's beating himself up because last time he almost killed the director or the general, and he's like, I don't want to go to the point where I can't control myself. So I think that's the psychological barrier that he's facing. And right now, they're in the middle of this huge battle, and Kaiju number 9, who was a problem for them before, has shown up, and he's like, all right, now he's killing people and doing all this stuff. So he has to overcome this psychological barrier if he wants to stop this dude. But overall, I'm excited to see what happens in this season. This new division seems cool. The captain is kind of funny. He's like he's a messy dude. He doesn't like order and discipline inside of the unit. He plays video games. He asks his subordinates for money. He's like completely opposite of where they had just come from in the 3rd Division. But his one thing is, he said, I don't care what you do. All I want you to do is come in here and get it done. So be powerful, be strong, and defeat these kaiju. That's all I care about. I don't care what your room looks like. I don't care about any of the formalities, none of that. And you gotta like that to a degree, right? So I personally prefer a little bit of order, but I also am definitely the type to be like, yeah, let's just chill. So I'm a hybrid of sorts, and I could work well in that environment where it's like, look, get off my case. I'll get the work done. Don't worry about it, type of thing. So I think I'm curious to see how they thrive in this environment. I think it'll be good, but ultimately, I think this will be a good season. I just hope Kafka can figure this thing out. I know he will, but I want it to happen sooner rather than later so that we can really see him start to engage in his kaiju form and then master it. And then it begs the question, so this little kaiju seed is implanted in him. It's a living, breathing thinking thing. It wasn't like some random occurrence. It picked him, and we got to figure, why did it pick him? How long will it last? Because once it decides to leave his body, or if it can even leave his body, but once that happens, what is Kafka going to do? He's been training. He tries to train as much as he can in his regular human form, but in the event that it happens where he does leave, will he still be able to be on the defense force? He's smart. He's able to use tactics to help compensate for his lack of strength, but what will they do? Will they keep him there? And, which is his dream. The whole thing that's pushing him and driving him is so that he can be the support to Mina, his old captain, that he wants to be. He made a promise when they were kids, and he's trying to fulfill that promise. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know that they'll get that deep this season, but and hopefully we get more seasons. But yeah, we'll see what happens going forward. I ultimately think, though, that he is going to master this kaiju form, and he's going to be like the hero of the world, right? And also, on a side note, all of these towns in Japan, it reminds me of One Punch Man, where it's like all of these towns are destroyed by these monsters, and then they get rebuilt and then destroyed. But it's like, why are people still living here? Like, they're constantly having to evacuate all the people, and it takes a long while for them to evacuate all the people because of how many there are. But it's like, wait, why are you guys still living here? These monsters are coming and destroying your city regularly. It just blows my mind. I just was thinking that while I was watching. I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense. But I guess they got to have the people there, because otherwise, what are we here to protect? So, cool beginning to this show, this season, rather. Curious to see what happens going forward. I'll definitely keep you guys posted. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.